Hello there, and welcome to BTB Airlines. We've recently activated our brain and are now on our way to Automated Crypto Trading, or ACT. We hope you enjoyed our journey. So last videos I would say I make a bot that was able to trade for me, and I actually achieved that. I stick to it and we finally got it done. So today I'm gonna outline what I did, how I did it, and just show it how it worked. And then I'll tease you a bit with what I'm gonna try to build next time. And it's gonna be a bit more bigger project, so we'll see if I can do that. But first let's see what we got here. So the first step here is creating a wallet. So we need to store our euros or crypto bot and see which open markets there are. And then we have also some empty dictionaries which are easy to store data in. This can be single point data, for example, Bitcoin price. That is one element of a dictionary. So why are we creating a different wallet? Because there's also a function to see your wallet in Bitvavo, is that I don't want to be able to sell everything I have. I also want to keep some things, and I don't want the program to know I have those things to maybe potentially sell. So that's why I'm creating a digital wallet in the program itself, and then we'll trade with that wallet. Second step is calling subscriptions. So instead of having a single response from Bitvavo server or the exchange you're on, we want to have like a open-end data information sharing, and this is called subscriptions. It sends data every time there is an update or something changes. For example, a new trade is made or a new offer is updated, then we get a subscription and it updates automatically, or I want it to update automatically these dictionaries to store the data in. So in the third step, we're gonna get the data input. This is temporary storage in the dictionaries, like I said before. And what do we want to see for this bot? We want to see volume, price difference, spread, and the time we bought or sold something. These we store in these empty dictionaries, and we do that for each of these markets. So this is all automated, that it automatically stores and updates this data every time there is a new subscription call or response. Fourth step is we want to see if there is a trigger to buy. So every time we update this data, we're also going to check if there's a trigger, or for example, volume rose. Okay, this is a 1, now this is a condition met, and then it can, for example, trigger something to buy a certain amount of crypto. So in the fifth step, it's actually going to be triggered. The conditions are met. I'll show you how we program those conditions. It's pretty easy. It places an order. This is a market order. So I know why it crashed, but basically it places an order. And also a stop loss at -7.5%. Then we also want to subtract the money from our wallet and add to the crypto bot. So this is pretty easy. Sixth step is check for triggers to sell. Because we have a stop loss in place, we can't have a second order in place to sell them. So we have to have automatically check the data that we get for triggers to sell. So it automatically updates data. It checks for triggers to buy, and the ones we bought, the crypto bot, it also checks for sell triggers. Seventh step is when the sell trigger is triggered, then the conditions are met. We cancel the stop loss, we place a new order, a market order, and we add the money and subtract the cryptos. So this is very essential in the beginning of programming, that you try to make your program as easy as possible. I took little data easy triggers and just a quick easy loop that it can go into. So it constantly is checking all these things and making a loop, basically updating itself and fully automatically trading. So what I was saying, try to picture your program working in different steps. That's why I want to go through this first. I wrote this down for myself. This one I wrote afterwards, but I basically drew something similar in the beginning. And then it was much easier to see, okay, these things I have to program first. I get the wallet, then I do the subscriptions, then I have my data storage, then I check for buy, I place the order, I check for sell, I place the order, and then we're back in the wallet. So basically that's what you want to do when you start project programming. Now for the actually code itself, I hit my API key and API secret. So this is basically your login. Basically you want to go to this website, Bitvavo Python API. It shows you a lot of commands and stuff, but basically this one is for your user identification. It shows, okay, I'm this guy, this is my account, and you have access to my account through this API secret. So first part is a portfolio. EU amount is a euro amount. That's an input. We say, okay, I have 24 euros in my portfolio. Then this is like my Excel sheet where I put every data I have, or all the interesting data I want to keep. So it's an index of where it starts to read, then where is it located in my computer, and then it just opens it up in a data frame. DF stands for data frame. I make some empty lists to put them in. For example, here we can see, okay, these are all the indexes in my Excel sheet where there is some open trades. These are the tickers. Sorry, these are the tickers. And these are the buy prices. When they bought only that's our amount, and then these are the buy prices. I'm sorry, these are the buy prices. Then we check for each row. It checks this Excel, sees if there is nothing filled into the sell side, and then it adds it to this empty list. For example, if this guy in the column, this is for example the sell date or the sell time. So if that's empty, have not been a sell yet, and it adds it to this empty list, and so I know where it is in my Excel sheet. Then I want to see what cryptos I'm interested in. I see what markets are open on Bitvavo. I say for every open market that is trading, I want to add it to my empty list, and then it has all the currently trading cryptos in there. Then I have a definition. This is basically creating the dictionaries. So for every interesting data point, I create a dictionary on its own. Basically what a dictionary does is it allows me to add all the Bitvavo markets, and I can assign a value to them. For example, this is a dictionary of the 15-minute candle. I will assign the volume in there. For example, there was 2 bitcoins traded in the last 15 minutes. This is a 24-hour dictionary. Here I will see, for example, the spread, or what the volume was, the average volume in the last 24 hours. This is for the price difference, this is for the spread, and this is for the time. So all just different dictionaries to keep track of the data I can obtain from the responses I get from the server. Now onto the more difficult part. So I'll skip this a bit for first, because actually those are all definitions, and the program will only call upon them when they're needed. So I'll skip through them when we're needed. So the program actually starts here. It opens up a WebSocket. So this is where the open link gets established through Bitvavo and me to trade data. You set an error callback. This is basically whenever there is an error, it will get into this definition. And for example, I can say if this error is here, do this. So it's kind of an automated way of ensuring that sometimes you will get an error and then you have to just do that other action to get past the error. For now I just have a print error here, so I know what's going wrong, but it's not going too much wrong at the moment. So we set the error callback, and then we say for each crypto in our list of cryptos that we're interested in, we're gonna get the subscriptions. So this is a step 2. Each subscription, for example, this is a candles of 15 minutes for each crypto that we have in the list. So it does this for 15 minutes, 24 hours, and my account updates. This is, for example, when there is like a sell made or a buy made, then I will get a subscription for that. So these are things that happen to my account. This is 24 hours and this is a 15-minute candle. That's basically what I'm getting. This part you don't have to really care about, it's just safekeeping for that I don't go over the limit of how much requests I can have to their server, but it's not that important. So every time I make this subscription, I go into the own callback definition. This is basically this one. So it's gonna note which market it is in. It's gonna note if I already have it. For example, if we added it in the empty list above, it will say true here, that I do have indeed already bought it. So and then I'm gonna have a count list. This is basically where it stands in my Excel file, so I can easily manipulate the data in the Excel file, knowing where it stands. For example, if the market I'm interested in is equal to that, it adds this count for, okay, it's on the 7th place in your list. So I can easily manipulate the data in those lists, and then the data is manipulated in the Excel files eventually. So if there is an event, for example a response, this is event now because the candles have an event, for example. Like you see here, this is a candle, it has an event, or oh no, it's not a candle, sorry. Yeah, the candles are not shown here because I don't print responses, but basically there's a similar parameter in the response that is event and then candle or something. And if that's in there, I know it's a candle response. So I say, okay, add all the candle data, its volume, open, low, high, close, and the time. So I can add all this. I can calculate the price difference. I can calculate the 15-minute. No, this is just storing the 15 minutes. This is also storing, but also calculating in meanwhile the difference. And then I say, here's my first condition. I can only buy when there's a candle, and it says if the volume of this last 15 minutes is 3 times higher than the average volume on 24 hours, divided by 96 for averaging to 15 minutes, and if the price difference of the market is higher than 3%, and if the spread is lower than 2.5%, and if I haven't already bought it. And then the last, oh, there's still some more. This one is if I haven't really bought it yet, because remember, if this was true, then it would be in the list and I would have bought it, so this has to be false. I have to have more than 5 euros in my account, and the time has to be higher than 15 minutes different from the last time I sold or bought something. This basically are 6 conditions, and if they are all met, it will go into this this line of the code. I will note a new time, so it will override it. I will print some things, I will place my order, and I will say, okay, I have 5 euros less in my euro amount. If this was not a candle event, but for example, if it was a 24-hour event, it would come into this this line of code. Here we're gonna note the spread. It just calculates it and puts it there. We're gonna have the 24-hour volume in there. And then we're gonna have to see, okay, when do we want to sell? So this part of the code is actually for selling. If X is true, so if it's in my list, and if the last bid, so the highest bid, is higher than 12.5% the purchase price, then it will buy. So it will only buy when it's 12.5% higher than the original buy price, and then it will cancel the order. It will cancel the order and it will place a new order to sell. So that is basically what's gonna happen with those two subscriptions. It's gonna go into the own callback. If it's a candle, it will go in the event kind of code, and if it's a 24-hour ticker, it will come in here. Then we have the last one, and that's the subscription accounts, and this is for actually storing the data in the Excel files. For example, this is a bit more difficult one, but I'll go quickly through it. Basically, if one of the parameters is a stop loss, I know I've sold with a loss, so my amount, my euros will be what I have left from the sold, what it sold for. So this is the amount minus the amount remaining. This is just for error fixing, times the price. So it's just basically how much money did I get back. Usually it's around 4.6 euros back if I put in €5 trade, because my stop loss is at minus 7.5%. So if it's a sell, I know that I've sold it. It will add it to a data frame. This data frame will be added, the new data will be added in this data frame, and then the data frame will already once again be printed or like brought to an Excel. Then I put in a new time, so I know when I sold it, and I can't buy it back in the next 15 minutes. For example, if I just buy a market or do a market sell, I get here, the price is similarly calculated as, for example, the amount quote here. It's just depends on what kind of parameters you're getting in the response. So if it's a buy, I know I just bought it then for €5. It will add it to my Excel by adding a new data frame on top of the older data frame, and then it will also update my empty list, or like the list with what I already own, and then it will place the order for the stop loss. So this is basically what happens whenever I buy something. And then the last part of the code is when I want to sell something. I basically do the same as the buying, but I exclude or I erase it from the list that's already in. So the cooldowner, so the condition if I already own it is false again, and then I can buy it again in the future. I'll add the money, what I have left or what I made. This is mostly €5 because when I place a sell order, for example, when I place a sell order here, I do it for €5, so I always get my €5 back, and the remaining is then the difference in crypto that I keep in the crypto itself. I don't sell it for the actual money, and then I update the time so it can trade again in 50 minutes from now. So now I'm gonna show you what it looks like in the charts, and as you can see, this is it's not perfect, but I'm getting there. So this is a 15-minute candle chart from FTX. I know it's not the best coin to be trading in, but it's just an example for now because it has like 29 trades open at the moment of all different coins that it's watching. Like there are even more coins, than 29. So as you can see, there are a lot of coins that it's watching, but 29 is what I bought in the last minutes. So that's what it's currently screening also to sell. So basically what happened here in this 15 minutes, it had the 2.5% price difference. It increased a lot. The volume was also pretty high, as you can see at the bottom here. It says the volume. It placed an automatically stop loss underneath the resistance or the support level, so this is very good. And probably when it is around 1.5, it would trigger a sell order. So this is how it looks like in the charts, and that's basically it for the bot. The next thing I want to say, and that's just a short thing, is that I'm gonna try to make a new bot that has like 5 different modes of operating. For example, You can have like a kind of lion mentality of a bot. You can have like a turtle, a dolphin, a cockroach, or a monkey, and everybody or every bot has a different strategy depending on the characteristics of the animal. Like, it's kind of linked. You can figure it out yourself. What I'm probably gonna try doing, but that's basically what it's for today. Hope you enjoyed, and see you guys soon. Bye.